This company is the best real estate small cap stock in this brutal market right now. And in this video, I'm going to tell you what that company is. I'm also going to explain why I've personally made it a top 5 position in my portfolio over the course of this year and why I think that I'll make a bunch of money off this investment when the market rebounds, whenever that is, because we're probably in this for a little while. Now, before we get into it, I'm going to give you 1.5 seconds to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. And now, let's go. If you want to see more financial tips, passive income ideas, and strategies to build wealth, then be sure to head over to our Instagram page at Jakeonomics to find your way to financial freedom. I also share my journey and quick thoughts on Twitter, so follow me there to stay updated on stocks that I'm currently investing in, how I'm making passive income during this recession, and more on Twitter at RealJakeonomics. And now, let's get into it. So before getting into the micro side of things, let's size up the opportunities at stake and highlight further pain points to understand things in a more macro view. Okay, so there's no question that real estate has been the oldest and one of the largest asset classes in the entire world, worth more than all stocks and bonds combined. But yet, it's one of the last to actually adopt technology in the industry. And this industry actually contributes $3.5 trillion to the US GDP, which is 13% of the total GDP. Now, mortgages stand to be around $100 billion. With 130,000 US brokerages a year and pain points in the whole real estate ecosystem, the opportunities for prop tech enabled companies like Zillow and Opendoor to compete in this space is driven not only by the sheer size of the market, but also by the limited amount of innovation to date, leaving this space to be very ripe for disruption. Now, according to data from Atom Data Solutions, there were a total of 78,271 properties with foreclosure filings in Q1 of 2022, which was up 39% quarter over quarter and up 132% year over year. So as mortgage rates rise, it will likely be more difficult for the middle class to hold on to their properties, and we'll get into why that's important later in the video. Now, if any of you have gone through the process of purchasing a home, well, you know that it's the furthest thing from efficient. And to illustrate the difficulty that buyers endure during this entire process of buying a home, well, this is a real-life example of a woman who faced huge pain points in the US. So this one woman purchased a 12-unit residential property in Eastern Washington, and the seller lost out on $40K extra because he did not calculate the market value of his prop or list it on the open market due to the lack of proper advice from his agent. Now, anyways, it took 2 days to validate the investment, and the whole deal took 4 months to close as manual paperwork needed to be done, and then 3 months to fully renovate and move in. The agent walked out with a fat fee of $37,000 just simply doing a walkthrough, but the buyer had to endure a long, hectic process which took a total of 7 to 8 months before she could even move into the house she wanted to stay in. Now, the buyer in real estate suffers more than others in the value chain, as the whole process delay comes from not only time spent on searching for the right home, but also for having to go through all of the inefficiencies of getting a loan, large transaction costs from agent commissions, and all the other inefficiencies that come with purchasing a home. Now, on the broker side, there's a complete lack of data to further educate their clients, let alone perform well and eventually achieve better sales during the sales process. And this includes structural components of a home, historical data, neighborhood crime rate around the area, fast access to valuation of a home, and much more. And this lack of data and these inefficiencies must be solved. And we'll get into which company is working to solve this in just a second here. But first, I wanted to talk to you about CDRs, which are Canadian Depository Receipts. CDRs represent shares of global companies that are traded on a Canadian stock exchange, and they are listed in Canadian dollars, which allows investors to own the company and not the currency. CIBC Capital Markets created CDRs so that they are more accessible to Canadian investors so that they can invest in global companies like Apple, Tesla, Amazon, to name a few, without worrying about exchange rate fluctuations and barriers and costs that are associated with converting funds from Canadian dollars to US dollars. We all know that's annoying. We all know it's expensive. Nobody likes that. And that's what CDRs help with. You'll also be able to purchase fractional shares priced around $20 a share as well, so that it's accessible to everyone, no matter what your financial situation looks like. So if you want to buy CDRs, but you're not sure how, or you just want to learn more about CDRs and the fees associated, or how many shares a CDR represents, then check out the link in the description below where you can learn more. Thank you, Zimoto Media and CIBC, for sponsoring this video. Now we're finally at the point of the video where I'm going to reveal what company I've been referring to, so let's get into it. And for some of you, you'll already know because I've spoken about this company in my Discord before. Now, if you do want to join the Discord, the link is down below in the description, so check that out. There's a free one and there's a private one as well if you want a little more. Something for everyone. So anyways, the company is Voxtur Analytics, and the ticker symbol for this one is VXTR on the TSX Venture and VXTRF on the OTC. And so again, like, how can this $250 million company fill the gaps in the market? Well, I'm going to tell you why I think they can and what they've built so far. So Voxtur operates as a real estate technology company and serves property lending and property tax sectors in the United States and in Canada. Their mission is really to create streamlined solutions across the lending lifecycle by, one, aggregating and normalizing data, and then two, monetizing that data with their innovative solutions. So where does Voxtur's success come from? It comes from their deep understanding and experience in the real estate industry, of course, combined with their tech and their data analytics, which are really going to change the game, in my opinion. Over the last 2 years, Voxtur has literally redefined real estate conveyance and transaction flow through a series of business combinations that were done over that time span. Now, what they've done is they've built a system to increase transparency and credibility, which was clearly very much lacking in this industry. They've also helped overcome systemic social and racial inequalities, and they've increased profitability and wealth for everyone, really. And so in this system, in my estimation at least, will transform the real estate industry for the better. Now, Voxtur has a total addressable market size that really sets it apart from its competitors, including the secondary market. So this is loans, MSRs, which are mortgage servicing rights, if you guys didn't know. The market of servicing and default, which is like servicing, foreclosure, loss mitigation, bankruptcy, all that stuff. And the process of origination, so home purchase, refinancings, home equities, lines of credit, that kind of stuff, right? So they serve all of that, okay? So really important to note that. But anyway, so that's kind of a quick little recap about what Voxtur's about and really what they're, what they do. However, now I want to go through their financials, their latest financials, which were released last week, and their current valuation, because I think this is I've been hearing a lot of things like online and oh, the revenue went down and blah, blah, blah. I think it's very important to go through the actual financials and then kind of discuss like what it actually means and why, to me, I took it as a good thing. Okay, so let's get into it. So Q2 fins, let's go. We're going to highlight just a couple things, okay? So revenue for the second quarter was $38 million, which represents a 111% increase over Q2 of 2021. The revenue year to date of 2022 is now just under 79 million, which is a 143% increase over year to date 2021. And lastly, the gross profit for Q2 2022 was 12.7 million, 53% increase over Q2 of 2021. The year-over-year growth was driven mostly by acquisitions. Now, sure, revenues did decline 6.8% sequentially, so from Q1 to Q2, And that was due to the decline, God, I can't speak, the decline in purchase closings and refinancing. But although Voxtur missed on revenue expectations this quarter, the company was very resilient compared to its peers. So again, while Voxtur's revenues were down a little bit this quarter, and like barely down, I think that this quarter is actually a good thing because it showed us the strength of Voxtur's business model, even in a time of like, I mean, uncertainty is an understatement, right? And so, you know, to me, again, I take this as a good thing. And when I look at the big picture, this just tells me that whether we're in a down market or in a good market, Voxtur is going to make their money, and Voxtur is going to be able to be a legit business. Okay, so that's my takeaway. And so I know I heard a lot of noise just saying like, oh, the revenue went down or this and that. Like, again, it's just looking at the numbers and thinking that, I think is very narrow-minded, and to be honest, a pretty stupid take. Because if that's your takeaway and you're a Voxtur investor, you don't really understand the story at all. And either A, you need to do a little more digging and to understand the story, or B, you need to get out of this investment because it's clearly not something you get and something that you want to be in. And context is so important, right? Because again, while other direct business competitors are getting completely hammered, Voxtur is flat, right? Or like minimally down, right? So again, I just take all of this as proof that the business model is very resilient. In one of the most vicious downdrafts in real estate, with interest rates just soaring and originations and refis falling off a cliff, basically. So properties are going down, stock market's going down, the economy's going down, cost will need to get cut. And again, ask yourself this: who is going to win in this type of environment that I just described? It's going to be a data technology company like Voxtur. And this all leads me to my next point, which is why I personally invested in Voxtur. Now, Voxtur is the newest addition to my portfolio in terms of like timeline, but it sure is not the least noteworthy, as I've been buying on market weakness for a few months now, and it's now a top 5 position for me for a reason. Just like Aduro has also become a top 5 position over the last 6 months, Voxtur has also become a core position for me. Now, again, just to repeat what I said before, anyone who's been through the process of buying or selling a house has had to go through a very inefficient process that takes to like 30 to 90 days, sometimes longer. And this process is precisely what Voxtur is about to completely revolutionize with tech and their data analytics. And what they're going to be doing is like, they're bringing all of this valuable data in one place, and they're significantly going to be lowering cost. Like when you bring that kind of value, like, you're going to win eventually, right? So that's my thought. Again, in my eyes, I see this as one of the most appealing risk reward investments. Not only in the small cap space, but I think in the entire market, and especially after this most recent downturn with the stock and with the whole market as a whole. Voxtur's revenue growth has been quite impressive. It was around 20 million in 2020, around 100 million in 2021, and in 2022, we just passed Q2, we're at around 80 million, just under 80 million. And so, and again, I would conservatively expect them to surpass that 200 million goal that I kind of have in my mind, as I do expect Q3 and Q4 to outpace the first 2 quarters. Voxtur, again, they've been talking about the NASDAQ for a little while. The goal was to uplist this year. Again, like whether it happens in Q3 or Q4 or even Q1 of next year, it doesn't matter. It's to me, it doesn't really seem like it's a matter of when. It's more a matter of sorry, it's not a matter of if, it's more a matter of when. And so when it does happen, Voxtur is going to be able to really earn itself a much higher valuation than it currently has as a venture company in Canada, right? Like that's just, that's just facts. Now, again, now we're trading around like a $250 million market cap. Again, I'm approximately around there. And again, let's just use a 5x price to sales multiple, which obviously is very conservative. And I think most people watching this video would agree, as well as most most vets in the investing space would also agree, especially for this type of business model. Now, let's say that we use the 200 million revenue in 2022. That gives us a market cap of like $1 billion, right? The company currently has a market cap under 300 million. So again, that would be a conservatively speaking, that's a 3x plus upside. But realistically speaking, again, like I personally expect that to be higher because we used a very, very conservative price to sales multiple, and you can double that probably to like a 10x price to sales multiple, especially in like a bullish market, right? And bear markets don't last forever, right? So this is my time of accumulation. This is my time of building up positions, which I think are, again, like sure, risky, but also like extremely high reward if they work out. And to me, like I've done enough research and due diligence and understand like these businesses so that to me, it's more of a matter of time. And it's like, I have the patience to wait. all I have is time right now. Right. And I don't need this investment to live. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Now, of course, please do your own research. Come up with your own investment thesis on Voxtur. What I hate seeing is like people being like, oh, what do you think about this? Or what about this? Or what about this? Or, what do you think about this company now? And can I get an update on this? Cool. I love giving you guys like updates and my thoughts, but my thoughts and my thesis shouldn't be your thoughts and your thesis. It's like anything else in the world. If you're bullish or bearish on a company, you should have your reasons. Okay. Now, speaking of which, if you're bullish or bearish on this company, Voxtur, please let me know in the comments below why. I would love to hear from you on both sides, right? I really love to hear from you guys and kind of compare notes. It's always good to hear from you, and I'll always answer every comment. So anyways, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for more, and get this video out to more people that potentially are looking into real estate investments. Peace and love. See you next time.